How do? It's time for my favourite tournament of the year, and I'm sure a lot of you out there feel the same about this. Certainly, if you follow a channel like mine, that means you like the sort of deeper darts, not just things like the Premier League. We're going to see a lot of movement. I think there's people at the bottom end of the rankings that could go on a deep run on this, and there's people at the top that are due to drop. This is the payout that was available a couple of years ago, which wasn't too bad, but you can see very heavily weighted towards the winner, runner-up, semi-finals after that, quite significant drops. Quarter-final of the UK Open 2 years ago is the same money now for winning a Pro Tour. This is what you'd get this year, so bit of an increase across the board. £60,000 now for the runner-up, an extra £5,000 for the next positions down, and a little bit better payout as you go further down. So an increase in terms of the payout and the prizes. But we're looking back 2 years, because 2 years ago is what is up for grabs this year, the 2024 UK Open. Now, if you're not familiar, what you won 2 years ago comes off this year. You keep the money. Let me get that straight. You do keep the money, but the prize money comes off. We'll start at the very, very top, shall we? Let's start at Dimitri van den Bergh. The winner of this event, beating Luke Humphries 11-10 in the final. Maybe a controversial final as well, back at the time. £110,000 due to come off the order of merit for Dimitri van den Bergh. Dimitri van den Bergh could genuinely, he could lose a tour card this year if things go against him, and the way he's playing at the moment, you wouldn't suggest he's going to pick up the prize money to make himself any safer. Due to drop even further. Estimating here coming down towards about the 38 to 40 position, which means he wouldn't then be seeded for the World Championships. If you're not seeded for the World Championship, he relies on the Pro Tour. At the moment, not in on the Pro Tour, so he could miss the World Championships, not in the match play, not in the Grand Prix. So all money coming off all year for Dimitri van den Bergh. He's in serious trouble. And if you don't get his throw right. And I commentated on Dimitri van den Bergh recently on the Pro Tour. The throw was pretty much all over the place. Wasn't quite there. So worrying signs for Dimitri van den Bergh fans that this year could be quite an important one for him. So interesting signs. I mentioned they beat Luke Humphries in the final, so we know that he's going to be defending £50,000. Luke Humphries' position, £50,000 doesn't make too much of a difference. Being in this event, he'll come in seeded in round 4, which means he's guaranteed to defend some of that prize money. I don't see any real danger here for Luke Humphries in regards to the rankings. The UK Open is never going to be something that affects him. Could be something, though, that affects the semi-finalists. First of all, Damon Heta, now in a position outside the world's top 16. This isn't going to help his case in regards to getting back in there anytime soon. So he's now going to rely on the Pro Tour Order of Merit rather than that main Order of Merit. It means he's no longer going to be seeded for events like the World Match Play and the World Grand Prix. So he's going to have to go about things the harder way. He could end up playing the likes of Luke Littler, the likes of Luke Humphries, the likes of Jan van Veen, all in the opening rounds. So things are going to get trickier for him. But this video, I want to pick out not just those big ranking defenders, but also people that are defending a lot of prize money in terms of what they own, a percentage. And the next player ticks both those boxes. Ricky Evans, semi-finalist a couple of years ago. What a great run it was for him, losing 11-2 to Luke Humphries in the end. But that £30,000 that is due to come off the Order of Merit here for Ricky Evans means that's nearly 16% of his prize money. That's a big, big chunk. 16% of the prize money up for grabs here for Ricky Evans, so he needs a good few wins here. The increased prize money means he maybe doesn't have to go as far to defend a good chunk of it, but kind of needs a run here to defend his position or is likely to drop down. Quarter-finalists, Stephen Bunting reached the quarter-final stage, £15,000 coming off for him. Luke Littler lost to Damon Heta, averaging 104 to Damon Heta's 106, £15,000 coming off for him. We're not worried about them. They're not the problem. The problem's the other two players. Rob Cross, currently on a bit of a slide. £15,000 potentially coming off for him, so could do with winning a few games here. But the big one out the quarter-finalists was a man who had a great year this year. He reached the quarter-final of the UK Open. He got to the final of the Grand Slam of Darts. So two big prize funds to defend here. The first being this £15,000 for Martin Lukeman. That £15,000 for Martin Lukeman is 7% of his overall kitty. Now, when you look at someone like Luke Littler, 2.8 million. If he was to lose 15 grand, what's that? It's barely anything. But 7% of your prize money up for grabs at this one event just shows the importance of this event for the likes of Martin Lukeman. Peter Wright has been on a continuous slide. Last 16, he's going to be defending £10,000 up for grabs for him. But again, that round has some significance in it. £10,000 for Keane Barry is a big different prospect to the likes of Peter Wright, to the likes of those bigger names. And that's because Keane Barry, who reached the last 16 losing out to Rob Cross, is defending 8.5% of his prize money at the UK Open when £10,000 comes off of his Order of Merit. Another one defending a big chunk of money in regards to a percentage, 4%. Roughly, just shy of, for Ryan Meikle. Reached the last 32 stage at this £5,000, so it doesn't have to go as deep as the others, but 4% of his prize fund up for grabs. And it's always significant when you're around that sort of 64 position, when you're at the bottom end of the 64. All these sort of events are huge. It's a great opportunity to put some on, but also the danger is everybody's got that opportunity. So you've got people around you that can make those jumps. It's an event you enjoy, but then as soon as you're out of it, you can look around and look over your shoulder when you've got some big chunks. 4% is quite a lot of money to come off the Order of Merit, potentially here for Ryan Meikle. The good news is, though, he comes into the round in a seeder position, so he's guaranteed to defend some of that already, but that's just the money that is up for grabs in regards to those defending positions. Now, if you're wondering why I'm only talking about the players that are defending big prize money, I'm not talking about those that can't defend like we do. For example, when we get to World Match Play, we say this player was in it 2 years ago, but they're not. That's because everybody's in the UK Open. All tour card holders get automatic qualification. They just come in at different stages, which is why they call it the FA Cup of Darts. For me personally, that's probably the most appealing part of a tour card, getting that guaranteed pass into the UK Open and the Masters, because it's that chance to go into an event like this where opportunity beckons. There will be big moves in the rankings. It won't be everybody, but we'll see a couple of people make some sizable jumps, because there's people defending absolutely nothing against people that are defending big money who the payout doesn't spread down very far. So a good run here can really change not just your season, but your tour card experience over those 2 years. I will be talking UK Open right here on Edgar TV all week. Now, it won't be the traditional stuff because we can't always get into that, but we will get into some this week. And I will also be sharing some of my experiences of the UK Open. I've played in the UK Open on 10 different occasions, which means I've got a lot of different experiences and insights I can share with you. I've got a video diary here on Edgar TV from when I played in it a few years ago, reached the 5th round, lost to Dimitri Vandenberg on that occasion, but a great video diary here available. I'll put it on the end screen. I'll put it in the description if you haven't seen that one before. But I'll tell a lot of stories and insights I haven't told before. And obviously as well, we'll be looking at the rankings. I've already done a video on dark horses. I'll do a video on people as well who I think are going to have a good run at this event. So lots to stick around for. All you've got to do, guys, is hit that subscribe button. I'll also be doing daily prediction videos, which will give you my insights on who I think is going to be winning on each day when the draws come out. What better reason to hit the subscribe button? It's all UK Open right here, including a review on the end. I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV.